Running with Trey. Bounce to Herder. Lob to Collins. Some fun on this one. Watch out, Carol. That's it with .9. And he's done it again. They cannot. Herder working on Curry on the other end.
What is going on, Hawks Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Hawks Fan TV. As always, I'm your host, AC, and great win last night. Great win. I had to rock my JC shirt in honor of a few of the posters that JC had. I'm sure you saw one of them in the clip just a second ago. But man, JC catching bodies left and right. That's my dog Meatball. But yeah, JC, it seems like he has one of these dunks every single game. I'm surprised he didn't have one against the Cavs on Saturday, but he made up for it with two monster dunks, one alley-oop from Cam Reddish, and then that second alley-oop from Kevin Herder on Kelly Olynyk. So rest in peace, Kelly Olynyk. But yeah, all in all, great night last night, a bounce-back win after losing to the Cavs on Saturday, which was a bit of a head-scratcher. I know a lot of us were expecting to come out and win pretty comfortably against a lesser team, but for some reason, the Cavs always have our number. They play really tough against us, and they actually beat the Nuggets last night as well on the road pretty comfortably. So maybe the Cavs aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. They have 3 7-footers, but they make it work at least so far. Keep in mind they started off the season really hot last year, 4-0, and then they ended up at the bottom. So that's probably what I'm expecting them to do again this year. There's always these couple of random bad teams that always start off hot every single season, and the Cavs are probably going to follow that same trajectory at the end of this season. But enough about the Cavs. We had the Detroit Pistons, who are 0-2 going into the game without Cade Cunningham last night, who was probably their best player, which is crazy to say because he is a rookie, but he's that good, and you know the Pistons roster just isn't that good. We also played them without Jeremy Grant, so all in all, it was, it should have been an easy dub, and that's exactly what it was. Las Vegas had us at double-digit points. We were minus 11.5 last night, which is kind of rare to see. You don't see many double-digit point spreads at the pro level. That's typically for like college and stuff. So Vegas obviously had a lot of confidence in us, and we absolutely delivered by winning, not only covering the spread at 11.5, but we won by pretty much 20 points last night. So we'll go ahead into the box score before we dive into the highlights. But all in all, great night from our starters. Every single one of our starters were in the plus last night. Trae Young was the high man at plus 17, and he had his best shooting performance of the season, 13 of 21. That is 60% from the field goal. As far as efficiency goes, he was 2 of 5 from 3 and a perfect 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. So that was really good to see. He was only 1 assist off from a double-double, which is unfortunate because 32 and 10 just looks and sounds a lot better than 32 and 9. But nonetheless, he still had 32 and 9, and he is currently second in the league for assists. So it's good to see that, right? He's averaging 10 assists a game so far, 3 games into the season. If you guys remember the preview video that I posted, I had Trae Young at 11.5 assists for the season. So we'll see if he can keep the same trajectory and end up winning the assist title for the first time of his career. But yeah, all in all, really solid effort and night from our starters. JC actually got into early foul trouble, much like he did against the Cavaliers on Saturday. So he was limited in the first half. But a great thing that I really liked Nate McMillan doing was, even though we had a double-digit lead in the third quarter, he brought back John Collins, and we eventually pretty much closed the game out with our starting lineup, which was nice to see. We don't want to give any sign of life to the Detroit Pistons. They were kind of hanging in there, and then we kind of basically blew the doors open late in the third quarter going to the fourth. So that was nice to see. But look at this, guys. In limited minutes, only 24 minutes, JC still had 22 points. He was 9 of 14, so this is a typical JC stat line. He is hyper efficient around the rim, 1 of 3 from the three-point line as well. And it was nice to see JC get back on track and have his first 20-point game of the season. 22 and 7 from JC. Clint Capella only had 4 points and only 8 rebounds, so he didn't do a whole lot last night. Only took 3 shots, but he was 2 of 3, so that was good to see. But Trae Young, of course, the star of the show, 32 and 9. Bogey and Kevin both put in 14 points respectively. And Kevin Huerter had a sneaky good game. Okay, he had a really sneaky good game. He was 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three. He hit his first 2 threes of the season last night, so that was good to see. He was missing a lot of open looks in the first 2 games, so hopefully this brings back his confidence and gets him back on track. Bogey also 5 of 9, 2 of 6 from the three-point range. He was looking really shaky in the first half, guys. I'm not going to lie. He looked, pretty much lost out there. I was live tweeting throughout the game saying that Bogey just looked confused. He was pressing too much. It seemed like he was a little hesitant on firing the 3-ball, which is rare to see because he shot it so well last season. It seems to me that he's trying too much to maybe put the ball on the floor and create and play make for others when, that's really just not his game, okay? We need him sitting on the perimeter and shooting those threes, jacking them up as much as possible because he is an elite 3-point shooter and he will find his rhythm. There will be a game sometime, multiple games of this season where he has 5, 6, 7 threes in a game. And that's what we need from Bogey. That was his job, and that's what he was so good at all last season, especially in the second half. But yeah, all in all, really good effort from the starters. And then the highlight off the bench was, of course, Killer Cam Reddish once again leading the way with 17 points off the bench. He was basically playing starter minutes without DeAndre Hunter in the lineup and JC getting an early foul trouble. So he scored 17 off the bench, 5 of 14 from the field. So not super efficient, not what we've seen from the first 2 games, but he still hit 3 of 7 from 3, which is really good to see, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. So all in all, still a really solid effort from Cam Reddish. But again, he also added in 3 steals, guys. 3 steals. His bread and butter is playing off-ball perimeter defense, getting his hands in the passing lanes, poaching the passing lanes, and just making the opposing team just frustrated because he's constantly using his hands. He's got some of the best instincts in the league when it comes to just poaching those lanes. And he got 3 steals last night. Could have had 4, but he didn't secure that last steal. So all in all, really great effort from Cam. And this is why I say pairing Cam and Dre together in the starting unit is so, it's so important, especially when we play better teams, because you have Cam, who's an elite off-ball defender, and then you have DeAndre Hunter, who's an elite on-ball defender. And then when you have those two working in conjunction with one another, it's poetry in motion. So it's going to be interesting to see how that, how Nate manages that rotation. I do expect lots of games to see Dre and Cam in the closing lineup all throughout the season because what they can provide defensively, and now that Cam is actually proving to be a very reliable, consistent 3-point shooter, I don't know, because the main reason why Bogey's in that starting lineup is because it provides that, deep ball shooting. But if Cam is shooting it just as well as Bogey, if not better, then it's pretty hard to justify him not keeping him on the starting lineup. But I see both sides, guys. I see both sides. And the fact that Cam is that spark plug off the bench, and he can really kind of just take over the game with that second unit. So maybe it's still a good idea to play Cam in that second lineup. But again, it's all about who closes the game. In crunch time, in a close game, under 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I do expect Cam to be in that position along with our starters to close out most of those close games. So we'll see. But yeah, all in all, great effort from the team. We play the 76ers, or excuse me, not the 70s, the Pelicans tomorrow night. So if you're not following us on Twitter, I don't know what you're doing. We do live pregame and postgame shows on Twitter Spaces every single game day. So, it's really fun. It's really interactive. I get a bunch of fans that want to get on the mic and speak, and it's just one big family of Hawks fans talking basketball. So if you want to join the show, if you want to be a part of that community, follow us on Twitter at HawksFanTV, and you can join the show anytime we host a space. So we'll go ahead and dive into the highlights now. All in all, really good effort from, like I said, everyone. Again, it was a bit of a slow start for the team. It's funny because one of the reporters last night asked Trey about the slow start, and Trey was like, slow start? What are you talking about? What slow start? I think us as fans, we tend to look at the opponents, and when we just expect it to be a blowout from the first quarter all the way to the fourth quarter. And, that's simply not reality, guys. These are still professional basketball players. Even the worst teams in the league, like the Cavs, can come out and get hot on any given night and keep games close, if not win the game. So we're not going to be blowing games. We're not going to be blowing teams out every single night. But it was nice to see that we put these guys away in the second half and won by pretty much 20 points. There you see Bogey with a nice little 3. and he hit his second three in the second half. He only hit two. Kevin Herter getting into the lane with a nice little floater teardrop that he's so deadly at. He is so good with that little mid-range push shot that he needs to be taking that like every night. JC with a nice little three here. The ball was humming last night, and then things kind of got stagnant in the second quarter. So, and Kelly Olynyk, boys. Kelly Olynyk, don't sleep on Kelly Olynyk. He was lighting us up all night last night. He was getting the starter nod because Jeremy Grant was out, but Kelly Olynyk is still a very respectable NBA player, and he's the only reason why this game was close in the first and second quarter was because he was just putting them on their back. So all in all, good effort from the starters, good effort from the bench. The only negative I have to say about this, this was an impressive finish by Trey. That was with the left in traffic against two defenders, and he gets it in. Very impressive to see. The only negative I really have to say about last night's game was the Solomon Hill minutes. I know Nate McMillan is very old school. He likes to play his vets because he trusts them, and they're smarter, savvier players than rookies, which is expected. But I am in the camp of my philosophy being you have to play your best players. And Jalen Johnson is significantly better than Solomon Hill. And even though he's a rookie, I could care less. I don't care if he was a high school senior. I'm playing him over Solomon Hill every single day that ends in Y. So it's going to be interesting to see how Nate, or when Nate does kind of trust Jalen Johnson to take over in kind of that backup four spot, especially on nights that Gallinari is not playing. There you see Cam with the nice, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Cam just getting in the passing lanes, using his instinct, using his long arms to get those steals. He gets like 2 or 3 of those a night. But yeah, Solomon Hill, I love the guy. Off the court, he's a great locker room presence. He's hilarious on social media, but he just offers nothing on the actual basketball court. So it's frustrating to see him sometimes. But all in all, the team did what we needed to do, and we won the game. So it was nice to see. Just good effort. This is exactly what we expected, and it was nice that the Hawks didn't lose this game or kept it close. We took them out and put our foot on their necks late in the second half. And another really good thing that I liked about Coach McMillan was the fact that Coach McMillan, he could have been very conservative. He could have played it passive. We still had a double-digit lead in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. But Nate McMillan took no chances. There was a small little spurt from the Pistons to cut it within like 10 or 11 at one point in the fourth quarter. And instead of running that bench unit that Lloyd Pierce did ever so often during his tenure here, and teams would come back into the game, Nate took no chances, brought all of our starters back in with pretty much like seven minutes left in the fourth, while we still had a double-digit lead. So that was nice to see. That was encouraging to see that we're not going to let lesser teams come back on us. And this is what good teams do. So big props to Nate McMillan with that coaching adjustment. Another thing that I noticed from Nate McMillan was last night, there was a specific play. Cam Reddish had that alley-oop to John Collins, that one-handed alley-oop, which I'm sure every single one of you guys saw on the highlights. But as soon as that happened, Dwayne Casey called a timeout for the Pistons, and as they were going to the timeout, Nate McMillan instantly walked up to Cam Reddish, put his arm around him, and basically was coaching him up after that great play. So those little things matter, guys. Coaching matters, and I'm sure Cam Reddish really appreciates a coach that really works with him and trusts him to play these minutes and do what he does. I think that was a big thing why Cam Reddish didn't really succeed under Lloyd Pierce, is because there was some tension there, and Lloyd Pierce didn't really play him in the right spots at the right times. But it's nice to see Nate McMillan doing that so far this season. So that's only going to pay dividends down the line. It's going to give Cam Reddish that confidence and that swagger that we need, because when he's on, he's on. And we've seen spurts of that. So now it's all about consistency. But it's nice to see that Cam Reddish is shooting 50% plus from the three-point line 3 games into the season. I don't know how many folks had Cam Reddish shooting almost 60% from the three games into the season. I certainly didn't. I would have been happy if he was shooting like 37, 38%. But this man is shooting 56% from the 3 on a pretty decent sample size, right? So again, in the grand scheme of things, it's still 3 games, but I mean, I can't remember the last time Cam Reddish had 3 good games in a row this consistently, active on both ends of the floor and just doing his thing. So that was nice to see. Oh, sorry guys. You guys missed this highlight. This was a nice little behind the back from Trey to Bogey. Elite passing. Not many players in this league can make that type of pass with that accuracy behind the back, but we, ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate enough to have Trae Young, who is the best passer in the NBA. Some people, Trey's gonna get credit for that assist. He looked like he turned it over, got lucky, and went into Clint Capella's hands. But we're gonna take it, guys. We're gonna take it. So yeah, Kelly Olynyk again. Kelly Olynyk just getting buckets on us, and he's been doing that his whole career. Kevin Huerter with a nice little pump fake, step back three, money. So it was nice to see Kev find his groove. He had a quiet 14 points. But he played very, very consistent, very well last night. Here, that's a mismatch all day. Kelly Olynyk on Trae Young. That's just not fair. Someone get that man some help. Trae Young with the easy blow by. Here's a nice little assist to JC. That's another dime from Trae Young. But yeah, all in all, as you guys can see, the team is starting to slip away. We're up 11 with 9:04 to go. Killian Hayes, for some reason. Killian Hayes going into this game, he was shooting 9%. Yes, that I did not misspeak. That was 9% from the field, and he had a pretty decent game against us last night. There you go, Trey answering back with a nice little bank shot floater. We're up 11 at this point with 7:30 to go. Kevin Huerter, nice little pass to JC, rim running. That's where he's best at, is just attacking and cutting to the lane. Here you see Bogey with a nice little pass to JC once again. Nice little floater over the top of a bigger Isaiah Stewart. So JC, this is a classic John Collins game, just hyper efficient. And every time he takes a shot in that 5 to 10 mark, it's almost automatic. He never misses from that range. He's a very, very efficient player around that spot. So I want him taking 6 or 7 of those shots every single night. Here we're up by 12. Isaiah Stewart with a little and one. That's not really a foul, but whatever. Trae Young, they're getting double teamed. He's trapping him. Solomon Hill finds the open man. Cam Reddish wide open from the corner. Money. Absolutely money. Yeah, Cam had a solid game. He missed a couple of bunnies on the field. He had a nice little move to get to the basket, and he missed a dunk. So he should have made that. He would have been 6 of 15 from the field, which increases his efficiency. But still, his three-point game, 3 of 7, shot 40% plus from the three-point game line again tonight. So all in all, like I said, 56% from 3 games into the season. We'll see how he does tomorrow night against the Pelicans. DeAndre Hunter did miss tonight's game due to a non-COVID illness. He was probably battling a flu. There you see Cam with a nice little cut finish at the basket. Which, by the way, this reminds me, guys. Cam Reddish, or not Cam Reddish, Gorgie Jang has been a extremely underrated pickup. His passing and what he's able to do is beautiful. He's a very underrated passer. That was one great example of him finding the open man. He does this thing where he gets the ball, pump fakes, gets his defender in the air, then he either fakes a shot, drives the lane, then he kicks it out again. So that was a great find from Gorgie. All in all, he's playing really great. He was a very, very underrated signing. Here's that alley-oop I'm talking about. Boom. Right on Luka Garza, the rookie. Welcome to the league, young fella. And then Lou Williams, nice little move, finds Cam Reddish wide open in that same spot. That corner is money from him. Boom, butter. And Cam's jump shot just looks smooth, guys. It just looks better than it has up until this point of his career. So, see, that was the steal I'm talking about. That would have been his 4th steal, but he turns it over. But again, that's Cam. That's okay, Cam. Here we go, DeLon Wright. He's attacking the basket. He misses this layup, and then JC follows it up with a nice little tip in. DeLon Wright, you guys might look at him and say, well, he hasn't been all that impressive this year, because he really hasn't. But the thing with DeLon is when he's out on the floor is always higher. He's a vet. He knows his role. He doesn't make mistakes, and he's not going to turn the ball over. He just plays his role to a T. And here's the last highlight of the night. Trey to Kev back to JC. On a poster, Kelly Olynyk, on a poster. So, yeah, that was fun to see again. 122-104 victory. All in all, great night. So, yeah, that was it for the game last night, guys. I was very pleased with the effort on both ends of the floor. Let's see how we do against a slightly better team in the New Orleans Pelicans. We're on the road. The next 4 out of the 5 games that we have is on the road, guys. And we have our first back-to-back coming of the season on tomorrow night. And then we go to Washington on Thursday. So that's going to be a little early test on the road for us. So we'll see how we do. Hopefully we end up 2-0 in that little back to back. So yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow night. Follow us on Twitter. I'm doing a giveaway, guys. We're doing a $25 giveaway, Cash App or Venmo, the next time Cam Reddish scores 22 or more points. If he scores 30 or more points, then I'm giving away $50. So if you want to be a participant in that giveaway, I'm doing this every single game until Cam Reddish hits that mark. So I've done it the past 2 games. Believe me, I want to give away this money. Follow us on HawksFanTV at HawksFanTV. Check out our website at HawksFanTV.com. And if you like this type of content, if you like Atlanta Hawks basketball, give us a subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to us. We do articles and we cover the team on HawksFanTV.com, so check that out in the description below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time for the New Orleans Pelicans game tomorrow night. Thank you guys, and go Hawks.